So in today's video, I'm gonna show you how you can make low content books like the one I have right here. So before I dive in a little bit deeper, let me tell you exactly what is a low content book. Essentially, these are very simple books that have very low content in it. For example, this can be journals, notebooks, planners, even coloring books would fall in this category. So essentially, you just have a book that's full of pages that has lines or some type of print on every page or some slight variation. Okay, so now you know exactly what we are selling, but where are we going to be exactly selling this? I'm not telling you to make books and print them and put them in your house and just have them stack up and ship out whenever you're selling. No, that just takes way too much work. So the way we're going to actually be selling this is through Amazon KDP, which is Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. You essentially let Amazon do all the printing, the back end, customer service, and all you would have to do is provide them the book that you would have to print. There are plenty of people making a lot of money selling these type of low content books on Amazon. So today I'm going to show you exactly how you can do this for yourself and strategies to help you sell more of these books. There are many ways to actually create a low content book, but I must say the easiest way is to actually do this using an online platform like BookBolt. The reason being is that they have everything that you need, the right dimensions, templates, basically everything that you can streamline your low content book creation. Now, before you start creating your book, you want to spend most of your time researching. So let's hop on a computer and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So once you head to the website, you want to create an account, and from there, you would just log in and this is going to bring you to this homepage. On this page, it's going to have a bunch of videos for you to watch and really break down the platform, and it has tutorials for every feature that they have. So the first thing you want to do is to start your research. So what you want to do here is to make sure that this little tab right here is on research. Then you want to click on cloud. Then from there, this is where you can start searching for the best sellers and categories prior to making your book. So in this video, I'm gonna make a journal. So I'm gonna switch the category to journal. So as you guys can see here, there are plenty of different categories that you can do your research on. This can be music sheets, calendars, planners, coloring books, you name it. There's a bunch of them that are on here, but let's stick with journal for this example. Now you can search by the best sellers. You could go from the top 100 all the way to 500. Let's go for the top 200. BSR range, this is a best sellers ranking. I'm just gonna keep this as default. And as for the price range, let's do it anywhere between $7 and $100. You can set it to 0, but you really wanna make a profit making this side hustle. So I think $7 is a good price point. And for keywords, you can search for any type of keyword that you want. So depending on the type of journal that you wanna make. So I think I'm going to make a manifestation journal. So let me just type that in. All right, so we got a couple of results here. So the top seller is manifestation journal for Black women. There's 369 manifestation journals. Seems like this is a trend as well. So as you see, it's very popular. There's just a plain manifestation journal, law of attraction, shadow work journal for Black men, another one for Black men. It seems like this could be a niche that we can get into. So 555 manifestation. There's plenty of manifestation journals and niches that I can see that there is some potential here. So let's scroll to the top and see how much that the top seller is actually making. So for this book, it sells for around $17.96. So let's pull out a little handy candy calculator here. $17.96 times estimated sales of $415. That's pretty good. They're making around like almost $7,500 per month. Of course, this is just revenue, the big sexy number, and it doesn't account for other costs, but that's pretty good for just some work that you've done up front. Now let's search for something that's a little bit less common or has less reviews and see how well they're actually doing. Let's see here. Let's look at this one even. Feel How You Feel, a writing journal for women to manifest great goals, pray and heal. This one only has one review. The price point is $13.99 and is making an estimated sales of $206. $13.99 multiplied by 206. They're making almost $3,000 per month just by selling this book. And they only have one review. If you can make an interesting cover, interesting title, get some reviews, I can see there is a lot of potential in this type of side hustle. So with this tool, you can just play around until you figure out a niche or topic that you want to focus on. It's probably best to find something that's less competitive so there's more room for growth. So another thing that you would want to think about is the seasons that are approaching. So if it's in the fall, then you may want to think about creating books that are around Halloween, autumn, or even Christmas. In the springtime, you can make books about Easter, spring, and other holidays that happen throughout the year. Now, of course, there's going to be seasons to these types of products if you decide to sell them. But the great thing about creating low content books is that this is 100% electronic and processed through Amazon. So you would only make money on items that are sold. meaning that you would not have a large stack of unused books sitting in your home until the next season rolls around. Just as a reminder, you don't have to just make one book because there are plenty of sellers on Amazon that makes multiple books. So you just have to test a bunch out to figure out what sticks. So for this example, I'm just gonna make a manifestation journal for men. I think this is an evergreen product that can do well in all types of seasons. So let's go ahead and start creating our book. So the first thing we need to do is go to this research tab right here, then click create. Then from there, we would want to go to the BookBolt Studio. So from there, we would just want to log in as we did with our initial login for BookBolt. So once you're there are plenty of options that you can pick. You can pick a paperback book. You can do that with only the cover, an interior, or just the back, the front, you name it. There's also a hardcover as well. So let's just do a hardcover just only for the cover, all right? And we want to make this project a little bit more premium. So let's name this project, let's say Manifestation Journal. So trim size, 6x9. The book that I have like right here, this one's a 6x9 roughly. So this will just give you proportion size of what you're going to be printing out, okay? So for the interior paper type, we could do black and white with cream paper. You could do white paper. You could do a premium color paper. So I'm just going to do cream paper just to make it a little bit more premium. As for page count, I'm going to put 100. The thing about page count is that certain books will have certain restrictions depending on what type of book it is, because with journals, you need to have a minimum of at least 75 pages or more. If it's less than 75 pages, then Amazon will not print this book for you. So for this example, let's just put 100 as a page count. Let's create the project. All right, so one thing that I forgot is actually the bleed. What a bleed means is that can the lines or images go from one end to another, right? So if you pick up no bleed, there's gonna be a space around the content. So in this example, let's just pick bleed. I think I already did, but let me create the project. All right, so once you're ready to create your project, it's going to give you a template that explains where the safe zone is and the size of dimensions and what every line means. So imagine this book being open and laid flat. So this side, the right side, is going to be the front cover. The left side right here, this one is going to be the back. So once you understand what everything means, like the colors, the dashes, everything like that, you can actually hide this template so you can work on your book much easier. So what you want to do here is go up here where it says cover template opacity, click on that, and you can just push hide KDP cover template. Press OK. Now the template is not on your screen no more. Now you can actually upload your own image if you like. This is something that I particularly like about the platform because I'm not the best graphic designer. So you could possibly hire a graphic designer from Fiverr to design the cover that you would like, or you can just make your own using the platform. Now, let's just say that you want to do this as low cost as possible. So let's create a cover for this just on the platform. So to do that, let's just add an image. So what you want to do is go to this toolbar here and click on the image icon. Then from there, you can upload your own files. They also have a website called Pixabay and Unsplash. Both of these websites are stock image websites. So essentially you can use these for personal and commercial use and not get in trouble for them. There's actually a few more websites that you can Google online. I think Pixels is another one. So just make sure that you use images from these websites so you don't get in trouble by any copyright strikes or anything like that. So for me, I really like simplistic book covers. So I'll probably pick something that's simple in color or patterns. So let's just search for something that's black. Let's see. So this one is Black Stone, which looks pretty legit. So let's use Black Stone because it looks pretty legit. So since this is a vertical image, we can actually tilt this horizontally. So let me see if I can do that. There we go. All right, my computer is going a little slow here. All right. Now let's just stretch this so it fills the whole front and back. All right. This is something that looks pretty good, I think. But again, you really got to think about the book that you are designing for the buyer, right? So since I'm targeting men, probably young men, they probably like something like this, you know, like it's for the strong silent type. If I were to design something for teenage girls, it's probably going to look completely different, probably a little bit more colorful. So far, just with this cover, I think this is a pretty legit looking book. And I'm probably gonna get this book and buy it for myself. All right, so moving on, the next thing we wanna set up is actually a title for this book. So what you wanna do here is go back to your tool icon and click on this T square right here. If you click on that, then you can add a title. So let's just click on heading. So I'm gonna be naming this just simple, this manifestation. Since this is a little dark, let's make it white. All right, so let's make this centered. Let me see, let's try this again. Highlight the text, center the text. All right. And let's make this a little bit smaller. Let's put like lower center right there. I really don't like the font as much just because like font can make a book feel cheap or just like the whole feel of it, you know? So let's make something a little bit more fancy. I think The one that I found before was like a cursive. So there's like a long list of fonts that you can use. So just make sure that you use the right font for the type of style that you want. So let me search. Let me see what we got. All right, Cedarville cursive. Let's see that. All right, I think that looks pretty clean, right? Pretty minimal. So I think that could work. So if you can't figure out what type of font that you want to put, then you always go back on Amazon to see what fonts are working for other sellers. Then from there, you could just get inspiration from that and just make it your own. So I know this is very basic. I could just leave it as that. You could actually add more things as well, like shapes and other variations to the title. So let's see if we can do that. So to add some extra shapes, all you would have to do is go to the shapes icon, click on that. Let's add a ellipses, and that's what's called, to our title here. So let's make it clear to fill, but let's make the stroke, which is the outline, white, and let's make it a little bit bigger here. Let's click on this. Let me see. There is the stroke. All right, so that's about 15. Let's go a little bit thinner. Let's do 10. So there we have it. That's essentially our title and our shape for our book cover. Again, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. So it does take some time to hone your cover and trying to find the perfect one. But I think my cover is done. So now let's move into the interior, which is the inside of the book. So to start working on the interior, we have to go to these pages over here on the left-hand side. And let's just click on the first page. So from there, to start working on this page, what you would have to do is go back to your toolbox, right? And click on this little maze thing right here. Click on that. Then it's going to have interior templates library for essentially anything that you want to put inside of the book. So there's a bunch of variations. So there's a journal one, exactly what we're going to be using. There's graphs, a dot graph. For those who are interested in bullet journaling, and this could be perfect for you guys. Music sheets. There could be blank, half ruled. There's different type of games, word search, Sudoku, puzzles. So you name it. So since we're doing a journal, so let's just click on journal right here. Then there's narrow, college, and wide. Let's just do college, all right? Then from now, we can actually add it to individual pages that we would like. So you can customize certain ranges in your book. So since I'm just trying to make this as low effort as possible, let's just select all of it. But make sure you unselect the cover though, because if you do not leave this unselected, the interior will overwrite the cover. So you're just gonna see lines on the cover, right? So you don't want to have that. And once you mess it up, it's kind of hard, you know? So just make sure you uncheck the cover, all right? And you would just have to press next. Then everything for the options here, you can play with it if you want. I just leave everything as default. So I just press submit. And now there you have it. All the pages in the interior will look exactly the same. So officially we just made a book. So that wasn't too bad, was it? So once you finish your book, all you would have to do is save the project. So to do that, what you want to do is go up to the upper left corner right here and click on project. Then you will want to download this project RGB. So you click on that. So you got to wait for a little while for this project to actually save, then process. Then from there, you would just download it. So once you have downloaded the file, you should receive a zip file. If it is not already unzipped, you should have two separate files, one for the cover and one for the interior. Now, let's actually talk about how to actually list this on Amazon and start making money. All right, so the first thing that you need to do is go to Amazon KDP. You can actually just Google this. If not, I do have the link down in the description. And when you're there, all you would have to do is just create an account. This is 100% free, and you actually log in with your Amazon account if you don't have one already. But if you do decide to log in with your Amazon account, you still have to add some additional information before you can start publishing books. So let me just sign in here. So when you make an account, you can make an individual account or a company account. So all my information is already filled on here just for the purpose of this video. You can make an individual or corporation as I stated. Then from there, you would have to plug in your banking information. So this is how you would get paid. Then at the very bottom, you would have to put in your tax information. But if you want to make this a little bit more legit and you have an EIN number, which I do recommend, then you go ahead and type it in there as well. So at the bottom here, whenever you fill in your tax information, this will also include your W-9. All this is just a tax form that allows you to get paid by Amazon and requires you to pay taxes on your earnings. All right, so once you have everything created and saved, you'd want to go to the top and go back to the main dashboard. All right, so before we actually start uploading our books, let's talk about the payment schedule real quick. So for the royalties for every book sold will be paid every month, approximately 60 days after the end of the month in which the sales were reported. So for example, if you made a sale in January, you should receive the payment by the end of March. Getting paid by direct deposit will be the quickest route, which can take anywhere between 1 to 5 days. Wires can take 5 to 10 days, and check can take up to 30 days. With that out of the way, let's upload our book. So all you would have to do is just click on this big yellow button right here that says create. So from there, it will ask you what type of book that you would want to create. You could do an ebook, a paperback, hardcover, series. So in this case, we did a hardcover. So let's just click on that. Now, this is where you'd want to enter the product information for your book. This is where research really comes in hand if you know whether or not your book will sell or perform. So let's go back to the cloud feature that BookBolt has to see if we can pick up any patterns to name our journal. So as the same results as we did before, so top 100, categories journal, BSR range is default, price range 7 to 10, and the keyword is manifestation. So right now we see that manifestation journal for Black men, manifestation journal for Black women, law of attraction techniques, a lot of the scriptures right there. 369 seems like it's pretty popular. Manifestation, law of attraction, see 369 again, law of attraction, affirmations, shadow work for Black men. Let me see, 555 manifestation, manifestation journal for Black men, law of attraction. So I actually like this title quite a bit, but since our target niche is just going to be men in general, so we could always substitute everything that says Black men for just regular men, or we can even say young men if you want. So let's just click on this product. So this is the title here. So let's just copy this right here, copy that, go back to our details. Book title, let's just change it to men. Leave everything as is because obviously this works and has all the keywords that we want. Manifestation and spirituality for Black men. Let's cut this right here, place it in the subtitle. Let's just change it just for men. I think that's a pretty good title. We could always tweak it a little bit later if you would like. It takes a lot of like plug and play to figure out what actually works and what doesn't. But I think this one is a pretty good sounding title and it has all the keywords that we need. So now you can add series if you are making a multi-part series. Since we're doing like low content books, I highly doubt it's going to be a series of those. But you can add one if you want. Edition number, I just leave it blank because this will be the first edition or just the plain edition, whatever, you know. Now let's talk about the author. So this is where you can actually place your own personal name onto the book. You can use a pen name if you would like. Some people use company names. You could basically use whatever name you want. I'm gonna choose the name Dick Butkus. This is actually an actual football player's name. So let's just do that. Now contributors, this can be other additional people that help you make the book. I'll just leave this blank. As for the description, this is where you would want to do your research once again, just to make sure that you know what are the trends and what are the patterns that other journals are putting in their description. And you can just kind of copy and paste it and maybe tweak it to your own because most likely it's going to be the same thing, right? So let's go back to our cloud. This manifestation for Black men. See, this one is very text heavy. Now this one could work. Let me find something else that's a little bit more simple. Let me see here. See, this description only has like 2 sentences. So let's just copy and paste that. We can always change this a little bit later on and tweak it. Let's paste that in the description. Now publishing rights, you own the copyright. So this is your book. Okay. As for keywords, this is where you'd want to go on BookBolt as well, because the key thing with keywords is that you want to make sure that you have the right ones. So whenever someone is searching for a manifestation journal or whatever book that you are creating, that your book actually surfaces. All right. So to actually find the keywords that people are looking for. So luckily BookBolt does have a tool that allows you to do your own keyword research. So let's go back to BookBolt. So what you would have to do is go back under this research tab right here. There's a little keys right here, a little keyword image right here. So click on that. And from there, search. And let's just search manifestation journal. All right. So once we got our results, let's look for trends and see what it comes up with. So right here is going to be the keyword or phrase. This is going to be the Amazon search volume. Sometimes this populates, sometimes it doesn't. This shows Google search volume and the CPC, which is costs per click. Essentially, this is what companies and advertisers are paying to make sure that they rank for these keywords, right? And right here, this is your competition. So let's see what can we see as for trends that apply to our specific book. So we see manifestation journal blank, manifestation book for Black men, for Black women, for love, for men, magic, hardcover, notebook with prompts. All right. So let's just get a few and put it into the keywords. Manifestation journal. Let's do manifestation journals. And let's do that for men. And let's see what else do we got. For Black men, that doesn't apply to us. Let's do hardcover since we are doing a hardcover. So let's do that. We could also put in manifestation notebook. Let's do that. And let's do one last one. Let's do journal book. Let's try that. All right. So the goal here is essentially try to fill up as many keywords that apply to your specific category or book, right? So the next thing you want to do is pick a category, right? So you could choose up to 2 categories. So the idea behind categories is to find some that may be less competitive So you're able to rank much higher in those categories. So in this case, you could get more sales because there's less competition, right? So let's choose some categories. So in this case, let's do nonfiction, self-help, that applies. They got quite a few here. Personal growth, that applies. Let's do general and success. Let's do that. Of course, this will take a lot more time than this because you want to figure out what is less competitive so you can actually rank in that category. Okay. So now we would just classify our book as low content book. So let's click that. Now we would just press save and continue. Right now from there, it will take you to the hardcover content, which is the middle tab here. I always publish without an ISBN because it doesn't really matter. This is just like a numeric code for books. Publication date, leave that blank. Since our interior is black and white interior with cream paper, that's what we created our book for. So let's click on that. Interior trim size is 6x9. Bleed settings, I believe I put no bleed, honestly. I can't remember. The cover finish is going to be matte, or you want glossy. Let's pick matte. The manuscript essentially is the internals of the book. So just upload that. Then from there, you can upload the cover that you created from the files that you downloaded once you exported from BookBolt. So you could go ahead and upload it right here. Then from there, you can actually preview your book once it's all done. All right, so let me go ahead and do that. So this is what it will look like once you upload your manuscript and book cover. This is actually a cover that I made a while back. So I just uploaded that one. From there, you can actually preview your book of what it will look like when it's open. Then from here, it will tell you how much your printing will cost. All right, so this breaks down what is all included, and your printing cost will cost $6.80 for this particular book, right? So there are a bunch of different factors that come into the cost, such as if it's a hardcover or paperback, the type of paper that you use, the finish of the cover, and also the amount of pages that you decide to print, and also the size of the actual journal itself. So let's save and continue so we can see what is the pricing here, okay? All right, so the next window is gonna tell you which territories will have rights. I just do worldwide rights and just adding this is the default setting anyways, so just click on that. Your primary marketplace will be Amazon.com, especially if you live in the US. And now this is where you would want to list your price, all right? So as we can see here, there's an estimate anywhere between $11.33 to $250. So the best way to determine how much you should charge is by looking at your competition. So the way to do that is to go back to BookBolt and let's go back to the cloud, and keywords was manifestation journal. Let's do that. All right. So now the rankings are different. It seems like it will change from time to time depending on what's most popular at the moment. So as early in the video, this one was actually the most popular, and we can actually see now of how we should price certain things, right? So this one is $14, $13, $7. This one is almost $18, $15. 16, 17. So it looks like it ranges anywhere between like 10 to like $18. But again, we have to really dive in deep to see what type of journal is this, right? So is it a hardcover? So this one was the most popular last time. So let's click on this and see what type of book it actually is. So this one's a paperback and they're selling it for roughly $18. The hardcover is going to be $28 roughly. So since we're doing a hardcover, we can charge a premium. So let's go back to the pricing. So let's do something on the lower end so you can get enough purchases and in turn you could get more reviews, right? So since this is a hardcover, let's do it as $17.99. So if we were to price this at $17.99, our royalty for each book that's sold will be $3.99. So for Amazon, there is a 60-40 split. So essentially, this shows that you will earn 60% of the revenue after Amazon's cut and also the cost of printing the book, and Amazon will keep the other 40. All right. So this is how much we can expect to earn on each book. So if we were to sell, of course, like 100 books, right? That's pretty easy. That's almost like $400 per month, right? And that's kind of the goal. And this is just from one book. And once you plug in the price, this will automatically convert the price in different currencies as well, like pounds, euros, and different countries as well. So once you're done and ready, all you would have to do is just publish your hardcover book. All right. So once that happens, it can take up to 72 hours before it becomes live. And that's pretty much it. Not really that difficult. So now once you have your book published, as I said before, your main goal is to get as many reviews as you possibly can. Because when you really think about it, whenever anybody shops on Amazon, myself included, we always tend to look at the number of reviews. Products that generally have the highest reviews are on the first page and are the ones that are going to be doing extremely well. So it would be in your best interest to have friends and family members purchase your book and give you honest reviews on your page. So this will help other potential customers choose your book over the competition. So even if you had to go out of your own pocket, this is just the cost of business, and essentially it is marketing, because there's really nothing that's really passive, because you got to put a lot of work up front. It starts with your time, like making this book, for instance, coming up with the design, doing market research. Then after that, you have to figure out how to get reviews. Then once you accomplish all of those steps, this is when you can actually make it more passive and less involved on your end. So for me personally, I'd probably create a bunch of books varying in niches so you wouldn't put all of your eggs in one basket. Once a product does well, then that's where you would want to make variations of that product. Typically with any product with e-commerce, Amazon, and any product in general, usually the first ones are never going to be the best ones. So there's going to be a few failures before you get a successful one. So onto the cost, BookBolt does cost you some money, but it gives you all the tools to give you a competitive edge rather than doing everything yourself. So on this platform, they actually have two plans. They have one that's for newbies, which will cost you $9.99, and one as the pro version, which is $19.99. This is the one I have because it has more features. Plus you can create your own puzzles if you would like. All right, so now if you click on the yearly plan, you're gonna get a little bit of a discount. Per year is gonna be $90 and the other one is gonna be almost $200. Again, with whatever plan you pick, you also will get a 3-day free trial.